Greetings everyone and welcome to Quriocity, developed by Oxalis PVT, a new sci-fi city builder set on an alien planet where you have to build up a base, provide services and education, survive the harsh atmosphere and constantly incoming refugees. This is a sponsored video and I'd like to show you the early stages of this game. If you're interested in Quriocity, don't forget to check out the link in the video description. And without further ado, let's get right into this game, shall we? Now, there's two game modes available that we can choose from. The first one is a campaign, a very extensive campaign that lets you play through dozens of missions that you can try out yourself. Some of them are easy, some of them medium, some of them are very challenging, and you can follow along a storyline if you like that. There's also the survival mode, where you can play either in survival mode or in sandbox mode, so no challenges at all. That's just for some chill city building, and in survival we have to battle constant sandstorms, heat waves, blizzards and incoming refugee waves of people, building up a big base and hopefully making sure that everyone's surviving. We have a bunch of maps available there too, a rocky map, a desert map, grasslands, lakes and the tundra, and we can choose one of these, and then also together with these parameters here. I'm going with a very balanced approach for this, and we're just going to start up the game. Let's get cracking. Alright, and here we are, Quriocity 1 to mission control. We have successfully completed the landing procedure. What a feeling! We have finally reached this alien planet. Well done and congratulations, you're officially the first people to land on the planet. What are your readings about the environment? Oxygen level in the breathable range, no toxic substance detected, temperature around 24 degrees Celsius, no radiation detected. We can confirm that this planet can sustain human life forms without additional life support technologies. Excellent, the rovers are about to complete the bootstrap routines and they will soon be ready to depart. According to the preliminary scans, that area should offer all the resources you need. We'll be waiting for more data from the search rover. Copy that, we will immediately start exploring the planet and building the first structures. It has been a long journey and we can't wait to share this new home with all of humanity. And this is it, there we're starting. We're always starting in a different location, no matter the map, right? So even if I restart the map here, we always get to a different location. And what we can see right away is that this is our landing pad. Alright. Seems like a very risky location to land a rocket. And in that case here, we have a bunch of sectors available. Right. And of course, we are now starting to scan those sectors while my rocket launch pad here is being, or principal rover, is being finished. And as we can see, now it's being finished. And now we are automatically starting those sectors. And once we have scanned them, we can actually build something in that sector. This is now coming along as well. We do have a bunch of resources available, none really. That's the power, the water, iron and rocks. So we have them available. We now need to harvest them. And we also have then soil, copper, gold and uranium for the more advanced resources that we can find as well. 10 degrees Celsius right now. It's fall as the season, and we have some 500,000 credits at hand on this very first day that we need to get cracking. The first thing, of course, that we need to look out for is power. So let's get started with some electricity production. For this, we do need a power storage first. So you basically do need storages available for you in the early game, right? So you need to start up with that. And yeah, probably going to have a look at something here more like on the edge of things. Yeah, it's not that we have so much space available there to us. So let's get started right over here. And as we can see, my building drones are now on their way, starting the first construction here. We can also deconstruct a few obstacles on the way, right? So that we can also start building something here. And I just love how they build something. It looks very artistic. Still also scanning this one. Now there's different resources available in every sector, right? So we need to make sure that we do have the resources that we need available in the sector before we can build something. That will be then important for water and iron then and going forward. Let's just wait for this here to finish. We can also speed up time. And next up is then my wind power plant. So now we can finally build it in here, right? And let's just make sure that we have a bunch of them available then right here. Let's start with 2 of them. And we can go ahead and have a whole row of them. They need to be within that sector. The same goes with water production. So let's go ahead and also get us a water storage out there. It's a bit smaller as we can see. And yeah, let's have it actually somewhere then here. We can squeeze it in just nicely. There's also then down here the communication slot. So this is already predefined. There is a ruin that we probably will need to repair. As we can also see, the drones are splitting up when there's several constructions. So it takes a bit longer for each construction, I guess, but we can build several things at the same time. And with that, day 1 is already coming to an end. As we can see, it's getting a bit darker. And we're just going to make sure that this wasteland here is looking proper soon. And after a while, we have finished the water, and we can now start with the water extraction. So let's go ahead and have this right next to my wind power plants there. So this is looking a bit like it's organized, I would say. And as we can see, now the resources are coming in. So power in this case here is coming in with a production of 180 every 6 minutes. We can already save something, and that's of course in the battery that we have here. And as we can see, there is a projected income for water already, because we're building that water pump, that water well over there. And there it's finished. And as we can see, water is also coming in. Next up on the list here, we have iron. This is another thing that we need to provide. For this, we also have an iron storage. And we need to make sure, perfect, we have iron available in this sector here. I would have been surprised if not, honestly, because this is a starting sector. And it usually should provide you with what you have. This is looking like a very rocky area here. So to me, it would make actually sense to have the iron mine in here, right? So let's go ahead and build us that iron storage. The drones are coming out again, and we can soon start with the first iron mine then as well. Bear in mind, we're building just up some foundation here for people to live in, right? We have done a whole bunch of buildings available for our settlers, for our colonists, and we will also soon start with researching. Another thing that you need, a new tech, of course, that comes up over time. Now there it is. For that, now we can build the iron mine, and as we can see, yeah, space is okay. Actually, we can have, I think, up to 2 of them available. We can also turn them around, and we should be able to perfect squeeze in another one then here. This one we can probably get rid of at some point as well, once researched. Now the mine is coming along. There it is, also automatically connected then with my storage. And with that, we are also getting some iron in now. I would probably, since these basic resources we're going to need a lot, I would like to build a second one right away. We can afford this, right? Water-wise, we should be fine. We're producing now 216 iron then per 6 minutes, right? And with the power, we are now, as you can see, the consumption is going up to 36 every 6 minutes. We still have a huge buffer though available before we need to do anything else. We can also then upgrade these buildings later on, right? To produce even more power. And these are just the basic electricity production buildings right now. Next up, let's have a look at this one here, because now we need to actually construct the communication plot with a communication tower. This actually requires us a bit more iron, right? So we need to wait there just the blink of an eye, really. By now, also, by the way, here we have it. The second sector now has been scanned. This actually has a huge cliff then going down here, right? So we're a bit elevated from the other plots. And here we have a bit more building space with a nice view over the valley. So this might be a good location for colonists to live in. I would really like to get this here done as well at some point now soon then. Let's have this one now finally being constructed and repaired. Not really constructed. We are repairing it, this plot here. And the communication plot will be very important then for us to reassign people and also to communicate with drones and stuff like that. Probably have maintenance going on as well. Next up, we need rock, right? So we have these 3 now working for us. It's very interesting. There's also, right, we have wind and solar energy, as we can see right now during nighttime. Solar is down to 0 almost, while the wind is blowing at 100%. Right, so they're producing a lot at the moment, lots of energy. Now, the rock processor does require also a rock storage. This sector here, let's hope that this sector also has it. Perfect, so we can go ahead and have it here as well. And I think this is a good location just beside my mining here. So we can already say that this is going to be a bit of a mining sector, right? And this is then where my colonists, for example, could live in. Coming up, the next storage. It's day 3 now, midnight. And there's the storage, and with that we can also now go ahead and have the rock processor. We can have a bunch of them here. There's another one, and this is also most likely possible once we get rid of the trees there. Let's build one for now. I think that's fine. Let's check energy. Yeah, we're almost halfway through our energy consumption there, or capacity. And I think with that rock processor here now, we definitely will have it. Next up would be the maintenance department. This building is responsible for maintaining units. So the rovers and the drones need maintenance from time to time. And this is what the maintenance department is for. It does cost me some 9,000 credits and also, rock. Right. Oh, and I like this message because it means that we have scanned a new sector. It's this one here. And there's a lot of space here. Perfect. Just going to wait now for a few more rocks to come in. And there they are. So let's build the maintenance depot. We should probably have it a bit central because, of course, it needs to get everywhere quickly. And I think here, just beside this crater there, is a good location for it. I think it's a bit protected then from the winds coming in. And yeah, it's really central, right? So it can reach all the sectors here quickly enough. There it is. Also getting automatically then connected with my communications tower. And as we can see, there's the repair drones now on their way then repairing structures and drones and rovers. Stuff like that. Okay, now it gets a bit tricky. We need soil as my next resource. And with soil, we have to think now that this is not available in the sector, right? Soil, we cannot harvest here. This we haven't found yet or scanned yet. Fortunately for us, this area here provides soil for us. So we are going ahead here and get soil started. Can I actually get rid of this one? Of this one I can get rid of this one. So it's very rock here. It's not going to be so easy, but we should still be able to do it. I would like to have it then, yeah, right over here. Beside my power production as well, to get us the soil in. And I just decided something that we're going to have our villages probably here. Because there's just way more space for a city that we might actually have then at some point. Right. And there is my storage. And now we can go ahead and have the soil processor then. I'll squeeze one in here. And have another one here and another one here. So 3 really should be fine then, right? And as we also can see, those construction drones are now coming from the maintenance department, right? They're not coming from my principal rover anymore. There it is. And with that, we have also started now the soil production. As we can also see, for the first time now, we consume more power than we produce. So I do need to go ahead and, yeah, get me a few more windmills up. We could also upgrade the existing ones, but I think upgrading for building more makes more sense. I need to do it like that, or can we get rid of this? That would be better. Let's destroy them. There is now a destruction rover coming out, and he's getting rid of all of that. I like the sound of that. A new sector is available to us, so he's now over there, and this one has been scanned as well. So we already got those 4 sectors for us now available. Alrighty, and with that, we can now, yeah, make this one a bit more organized. Let's actually build 3 of them right away. We're going to need them anyway. And they only cost me some credits, right? 4,000, and we have still 386,000 available. It should be fine. Don't quote me on that. And there they're coming up and running. And with that, we have a nice, comfortable production surplus of 450 available. Now again, that's 253 around that. Perfect. Now something is piling up, and it's not power. It is sewage right over here. Sewage is untreated at the moment, and it can cause infections in my colony once we have colonists here that would be lethal over time. So we need to get rid of that, right? So we now need a processing plant where we can clean the sewage. And for this, we do need a recycle zone. This will make sure that we have an area available where we can basically recycle everything that we find. And yeah, let's destroy these rocks here. I would like to have it as, yeah, in a corner somewhere, right? It's not a very beautiful structure that you want to have in your neighborhood. So I'm going to make sure that we do have it a bit further outside. Here should be fine. Once we get rid of the rocks, we actually have a bit more space available then to us. And this will make sure that we can actually clean our colony accordingly. Once again, this will cost me then some energy. And it's in our recycling tab and the sewage processor, there it is. This also requires employees, by the way, right? So we have 100 starting population that we have, and 34 of them are already employed. We have still 66 available here for jobs, right? So they're, I think, living over there in the principal rover right now, and they're working then in the sewage processor, for example. We can have the first one right here at the very end. Perfect. And there's also this green pond right next to it. Let's imagine that this is actually the pool of sewage that comes out there and then into my sewage processor. Just for the heck of it, really.
Search.
I also like how close we can get in here, right? And how far we can also go outside if we want to. If we want to see everything at once. Now we do actually have a request here. Not a request really, action is required. One of my rovers, the search rover, is low on batteries. Right, so that's over here. And we can now send the principal rover over here, the recharge rover, that is now on his way, recharging the battery there for my scanner. Otherwise, we will not be able to scan new sectors anymore. I like the design of these. And there we are, recharging it. Perfect. And with that, the search rover can continue the scan. And already finished with this one here too. There's some tiny baby volcanoes over there. Hopefully they're not erupting. And with that, we are already at the last sector for this plateau here, right? And then we have the whole thing in our colony, and he probably continues then over there as well. Now, we have the sewage processor, right? Yes, it is working, and we are now cleaning sewage, right? And as we can see, we can now treat 180 per cycle. And yeah, untreated is 165. So we have a huge margin here still available there. And this is now cleaning my colony up, essentially. Now the basic, I think the basic colony is now working. We have the basic resources, we have rocks, we have soil coming in, we have enough energy. We have a stable balance at the moment. So I think it's the right time to start building up a colony for people, for humans to live in. And for that we need the very first building here, a spaceport, and this unit is responsible for bringing in people from different stations and planets. It also is depending on the maintenance department, so this should not be too far away. It doesn't have to be within the radius, I think, or? Nah, it doesn't, right? So we can have it here, for example, and I would like to have it probably a bit central there, or yeah, over here, right, where we have a bit of space, even though here we have resources available. Let's have it, can be perfect. We can actually use it here. Have it look towards, let's actually have it look like this. Just beside that crater. So any pilot can see already where he needs to land. Just land beside the crater. And there it's coming up. The spaceport, very important one. We can also already go ahead, since we have the resources available, and start with a research center. Costs me quite a bit, 40k now. Also some soil, but we have plenty of that. And this will allow us to research then new tech, new buildings. This one, as far as I know, we can also build anywhere. So I would like to have it in one of my free areas here, right? Because there's a bunch of zones that we still have where we can get these zones in. So this is just perfect for buildings like the research center, for example. Let's build it. While the spaceport is also coming along. And a bit later, it has been finished, and as we can see, there's a clock now ticking down. And this means that in 7 minutes and 47 seconds, new people will come into the spaceport. And now the clock always ticks, right? Now we need to provide housing and services and food for them. Also, we have scanned the last sector over here. And with that, we have now the full control over this whole plateau there. There's also my research center coming along. So research, we're going to have a check then. And yeah, let's go ahead and research our first tech actually right now, because we're going to need it. And that's the fuel tech that we're going to need. And there we have it. Research is the fuel for the principal rover, right? We can do this for 15,000 credits, and it takes 8 minutes of our time. And then we have finished this. And just have a look at how extensive this research tree really is. There's lots of stuff, right? From the colony section to the services that we have, that's all for my colony, like also security, right? And cemeteries, I hope we don't need them so soon. Auto services, that is happening automatically, so maintenance, for example. Everything for food, right, like some farms and some food processing, and then also entertainment for my citizens, all the way up to resources like resource storages and new productions. So lots of stuff for us to research. Fuel it is as the beginning, and in 7 minutes this is going to be finished. And we need it actually, right, if we want to have the principal rover working again to fuel it up. Very good so far. The basic foundation for the colony is standing. We have also now the launch pad or spaceport. Soon the first settlers will come in, and in the next episode we're going to make sure that they will have a proper living here and have a happy and decent life in my colony. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you're interested in Quriocity, don't forget to check out the link in the video description for the Steam page. And with that, onwards. Stay tuned.